evening, guys. Good evening. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel. Let me finish something up here. We're listening to a little music. Hope you're having a good evening. Hope you're ready for a migrant update. Yeah, we be OBS streaming tonight for a change. We'll see how it goes. A little, I don't know what they call this. Taiziki time. Oh, there you go. Cheers. Oh. There you go. Let me bring the music down. Cold one. It's cold night here in Chicago. Let me bring that down. There we go. The music is down. There you go. That was American Idol by RKVC out of the YouTube audio library. I am DJ Wonder Chrissy, and I also got Mr. T here. And we be podcasting from Chi-Town. Chi-Town, my friends. We doing OBS tonight. Going to be talking about a update on Chicago migrants. Yeah, they're not called migrants anymore, though. They have now transitioned to calling them unhoused. They are the unhoused, my friend. Cheers. Hey, and a kudos to my family member who got me a $25 Binny's gift card for the holidays, and I got myself some of this Polish beer here. It's a Polish lager from somewhere in Poland. It's pretty good. I love this. I love this. I've had some other, what's the other one? There's another, a Peroni. I like myself some Peroni. I like myself some of this. I think there's another Czech beer out there. One of my local establishments served. Good evening, Garrett. How you doing, my friend? We're doing a little complex streaming tonight, so we'll see how it goes. We had some people asking for an update on the migrants in Chicago, which it's been kind of quiet. There's been no buses to Chicago for several months. Governor Abbott threatened to send some during the DNC. That was right back in August. That never materialized. No. Kudos to Governor Abbott. Yeah. So he never sent any more buses. No, maybe we got some like in the early summer. That was it. The ones that I do believe, though, they have been coming recently via plane. They get their little voucher that says, please take me, and they show up at the airport. They take the subway downtown to the landing zone, which when we watch this video, you're going to find out that the landing zone has been dissolved. They have now merged. They have merged the migrants with the unhoused or the homeless, and you will not hear Brandon Johnson name them as migrants. They are now being called the unhoused. So they're doing a little sleight of hand, a little magic, if you must. Try to get my magic wand here. They're doing some magic. Voila! Those are no more migrants. They are now the unhoused. There you go. There you go. So let me put some glasses on here. It's so bright here in the studio. There you go. We'll put my purple ones on. We'll key up this, like a 5-minute video. We'll talk as we go through it and give you an idea what's happening here in Chicago with the 50,000 migrants that we've had delivered to our doorstep. Yeah, over 50,000 migrants have been delivered to our doorstep. Oh, not as much as New York City. New York City's probably had 260,000. Although I do know that some of the migrants in New York City, before winter came in New York City, got a free ticket out of town and came to Chicago. So we got some of the New York City guys that got kicked out of the hotels. They took a free ticket out of town and they came to Chi-Town. So let's look at this video and we'll get a quick update on where Chicago is with its migrants.
This woman told me, when we arrived here, we thought we'd have a job. It's not easy to find work, and we still do not have a work permit. A similar story from this man, who asked not to have his face shown. He panhandles for money and food for his son and wife. Even though the city is closing shelters, there are still migrants who are making their way back to the landing zone and attempting to re-enter the shelter system. It's a pattern that began this spring when the city started evicting people. Of the more than 2,700 people who left the shelter system earlier this year, more than 2,000 have returned. We met this man at the landing zone.
Want to hear that again? They evicted. Where's that at? They evicted 2,700. Oh, let's get that up again here. Oh, maybe we can't get it. Let's see here.
Another story from this man, who asked not to have his face shown. He panhandles for money and food for his son and wife. Even though the city is closing shelters, there are still migrants who are making their way back to the landing zone and attempting to re-enter the shelter system. It's a pattern that began this spring when the city started evicting people. Of the more than 2,700 people.
There you go. 2,700 left the shelter system and 2,000 came back through the front door. Crazy. 2,700 were kicked out and then they came back. That's almost a perfect batting record.
Who left the shelter system earlier this year, more than 2,000 have returned. We met this man at the landing zone in late October. He could be among the last to be reassigned. He told me it's challenging not having a work permit, and that's why migrants have suffered a bit. He told me sometimes I'm ready to throw in the towel and return to my home country. When we come back, as shelter operations wind down, the level of uncertainty and uneasiness increases.
We have women with children, women with infants arriving who are being turned away saying there are no shelter beds. Where are they supposed to go? What are they supposed to do? Nobody knows. Nobody has an answer.
Close out the year, we report on two major changes. The first, the city's decision to end the migrant shelter operation leaves more questions about housing insecurity and where the new arrivals will go. The second, a larger looming question about if they'll stay, amid campaign promises from President-elect Trump that his administration will soon begin a massive deportation operation. At this food pantry on Chicago's South Side, there's a chill in the air and a feeling of uneasiness.
Entonces, la verdad, sí.
Ira Salinas is from Honduras. She told me she worries about money and finding work. She's been here a year, has 2 children with kidney disease. They moved out of a city-run migrant shelter and are now in an apartment. She's grateful, but doesn't know what the future holds. Of the more than 4,000 people who were forced to leave the city-run migrant shelters due to a 60-day stay policy, roughly 2,900 of them returned here to the landing zone.
They're like a bad penny, you guys. You can't get rid of them. You can't get rid of them. The only thing that's going to get rid of them, and I'm not even sure that this is going to happen, when the grant money the free-flowing money from FEMA, from Washington D.C. that is flowing to the government units, the NGOs, the non-government units, the churches, the food pantries, and all these tax-exempt organizations that are getting money from the Biden administration to cover this stuff up. Unless that stops, these people ain't going anywhere. We'll see. I mean, if right now the city of Chicago and the Archdiocese of Chicago and many of these organizations have been giving these people free rent. They've been paying their rent for 6 to 9 months. At some point, they need to get a job. And I think he talks about in here, too, that not very many of these people are eligible or even eligible for work permits, let alone able to find work. So there's some things going on I heard today. Well, we'll talk about it later, but there's some things going on in the city council related to the migrants that are going to make things a little bit easier on Brandon. So let's get back to the show.
And re-enter the shelter system. Chicago has spent more than $500 million providing shelter to migrants, and now facing a financial crisis.
$612 million, folks. I'm not even sure what that number represents in totality. I think the city, I mean, we got the city, we got the state, we got the county all chipping in. So that 612 was just the city number. And let's face it, the city of Chicago doesn't do a very good job of keeping track of expenses. So I think that number's a little bit light.
Plans to close the landing zone at the end of the year and fold migrants into an umbrella system where they'll compete for beds with other Chicagoans experiencing homelessness.
There you go. The migrants are no more. They are now the unhoused. They've pushed them into the unhoused shelter system. And now they're going to be looking for Donnie Trump to give them money for the unhoused. And if you look at the statistics, I do believe the unhoused population in Chicago is now 3 times what it used to be. 3 times what it used to be. Because 2/3 of it is the migrants. There you go.
The umbrella system,
or we also called them the English learners at one point. It's now the unhoused. The unhoused. They're hiding them with the homeless.
provides 6,800 beds, which is still 4,000 short of what the city previously said.
There you go. Brandon did all this hocus pocus, but he's still got a problem, which he's in denial that he's got a problem. How he's going to get around this, I don't know. But it's all about this, guys. It's all about money. He's got all of his best friends buying these shelters and running them back to the city. So it's all about the mighty buck. There's money to be made. The Democrats know how to do it. So let's get back to the show.
It would need 2, 1. At a recent ribbon-cutting ceremony for a new homeless shelter, I pressed Mayor Johnson for answers. Are you at all concerned that the city's One Shelter initiative may fall short, that you may end up with people out on the street come winter?
So we're not getting out of the business of housing people. I mean, we're at a ribbon cutting today, which is the business of housing people. And congratulations to this community for putting their arms around the people of Chicago. And this is something that's very important. Thank you for this question. Our city, a year ago, we were under attack by the governor of Texas. Right? I mean, you all covered this, sending...
Under attack from Texas? Yeah. And your stupidity and your sanctuary city laws. Yeah, that's what it's all about, your sanctuary city laws, your stupidity, Brandon.
Busloads of people without any support from the federal government.
Not hearing an answer to my original question, I pressed again. I appreciate the context, Mayor. My question, though, was, are you concerned that we're still bed space short, thousands of beds short?
I thought I answered that when I talked about, for the first time in the history of Chicago, we have actually shown it for the people of Chicago. Do we need to do more? I mean, I think you know the answer to that.
Back at the food pantry,
he's shown up for the people of Chicago, but the people of Chicago don't need these beds. It's the people from Mexico, Venezuela, Ecuador, and Chile, and wherever else, those are the people he's showing up for. Brandon he's one sly devil, my friends. Yeah, he needs to quit. There used to be talk about getting him out of office, but the procedure to remove a politician or mayor from office in Illinois is just so cumbersome. Nobody wants to undertake it. So I believe we still got 2 years left. 2 years left. Something else you should know about Brandon. Brandon's got some anxiety issues. Early in his term, like within the first year of his term, when the migrants started flowing heavily into Chicago, he checked himself into a hospital for a couple of days because of some anxiety. So he's got some anxiety issues, and but he's a sly talker. He's like I guess I would say that he's a combination of Mayor Daley and Jesse Jackson rolled into one. There you go.
Tells me she's also concerned about what a new Trump administration could mean.
Según estoy escuchando que pues van a ser
She's heard there are going to be different laws.
What did you say? If she's an English learner, she ain't learning much. Jeez, she ain't learning much. This be the problem, guys. You got all these people coming here, they don't even speak English, but they know how to smoke pot and cause crime. That they do know. That they do know. Yeah, we've talked about that before, but we can talk about that again.
Laws and regulations. Our conversation came during the same week that President Trump's border czar Tom Homan visited Chicago to attend a GOP gathering.
Chicago's in trouble because your mayor sucks and your governor sucks.
There you go, Brett Homan. He's pulling the punches. He's already been to Chicago to talk to some GOP people in the area. We'll talk about it now. The city council, as of today, there's a couple of people in the Chicago City Council that are trying to push changes to the sanctuary city ordinance of Chicago that currently exists today to allow for the police to work with the federal government and get rid of criminals who are non-citizens and allow that to happen. So we'll see how that goes. It's supposed to come up for vote next Wednesday, but we'll see how it goes. Brandon's either going to back it and push it through, or he's going to stonewall it. And if it gets stonewalled, I hate to see what's going to happen when Brett Homan comes to Chicago. And he has vowed to come to Chicago as one of the first cities and start pulling some of these illegals out. There's plenty of illegals here. I haven't heard anybody put a number on it, but there's a lot of crime in the suburbs from the people that live in the city and they commute to the shopping malls and the suburban areas, and they're basically an organized crime ring. So we've got a lot of those. Yeah. A lot of illegals in Chicago, guys. I don't know how it is where you're at, but we got a lot of them here.
Homan told the crowd that he's willing to work with Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor Pritzker as long as they don't impede President-elect Trump's mass deportation plans, which he says will target criminals but could also include others. While Governor Pritzker...
Here's Chris Christie of the Midwest, JB Pritzker, the Pillsbury Doughboy. There you go. The Chris Christie of the Midwest. There you go. There he is. He could be your next Democratic candidate for president, folks. I hate to break the news, but he's in line to become a nomination or a run for office in the Democrat Party. That's our only savior right now. Is if he runs for president, we would love that. Get him out of our hairs, because I don't think we have a term limit here in Illinois. He could run forever if he wanted here for governor.
Said he did not think undocumented immigrants with violent convictions should be in the U.S. He did say he has an obligation.
Yeah, Garrett brought up a good point. J.B. Pritzker is kind of like a sausage in a suit. he's 10 pounds of dung stuck in a 5-pound bag. That's as best describes our governor.
Under Illinois law to defend and protect migrants. Mayor Johnson made similar remarks.
Going after undocumented people, it's a threat to our civility and to our democracy. I think it's a waste of effort and power.
I want to be clear. If you're in the country legally, you're not off the table.
It's hard to know what's going to happen, but the uncertainty of it all is what's most terrifying.
All of it. The unknown is unnerving for volunteers like Veronica Roman Saldana, who runs the Pilsen Food Pantry, where so many migrants of the past year have sought help. Why is it so emotional for volunteers like you?
Because we've spent so much time. We've built really.
Look at this carrot or whatever it is in this box. I've never seen a carrot that big. Let's look at that again.
I want to be clear.
Holy cow.
You're not off the table.
It's hard to know what's going to happen, but the uncertainty of it all is what's most terrifying.
All of it. The unknown is unnerving for volunteers like Veronica Roman Saldana, who runs the Pilsen Food Pantry, where so many migrants of the past year have sought help. Why is it so emotional?
Look at that carrot, my lord. That's the size of a salam. That's bigger than an Italian salam. Give me a carrot like that. What the hell is that? Oh, my lord. My lord. Let's get going on that. That's a big carrot. That's one hell of a big carrot. Oh.
Emotional for volunteers like you.
Because we've spent so much time. We've built relationships with a lot of folks, especially, I think, those of us who...
If there were no migrants, this lady wouldn't have any people banging on her door. She'd be without a job. I think her goal is to put herself out of a job, but a lot of the bleeding hearts of the world don't see it that way. You need to try to put yourself out of a job, lady. Then you're actually doing your job.
We're helping in different ways at the police stations and shelters and things. We spend a lot of time and energy and.
Oh, the good old days when all the migrants were sleeping in the police stations, giving the desk cops the measles and mumps. That was a media cover-up. We found out later when they moved them to shelters and they got the measles and the mumps, there was whistleblowers within the police that finally came out and said, hey, this isn't the first time that they've gotten measles and mumps pandemic going on in the Chicago migrant community. They said that some of the cops working the desk fronts when the migrants were staying in the police stations prior to October of that year, they were getting measles and mumps from them back then. So we had our own little cover-up, or little news cover-up about the migrants, and I'm sure we got some cover-ups happening right now. There are migrants everywhere in Chicago.
You really got close to a lot of people.
Volunteers like Veronica worry that the cost of the crisis could continue for both the people directly impacted and the city, and that $600 million could have been spent all for naught if it ends with mass deportations. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Bennett Haverly. NBC5 investigates.
So that's just 6 minutes of a 22-minute NBC5 Chicago detail. It's a good summary of the migrant crisis here in Chicago from the beginning to the end. If you want to find it out on YouTube, you can find it. It's a greatly done and hits all the high points, and mostly gives us an idea of where we're at today. They've closed the landing zone. But you know, that's not stopping the migrants. The migrants are still coming, but they've been coming on airplanes to Chicago in dribs and drabs, not in bus loads like they were before. So they've gotten rid of the landing zone. They've closed maybe 5, 6, 7 of the shelters. At one time, Chicago had 29 shelters for the migrants. I think they're down to 20 now. But of course, the most recent news is that they've combined them with the unhoused, and now they're calling them the unhoused population. So that's a little switcheroo that they're doing on my friend Mr. Trump. So he can't say that he doesn't want to fund the illegals, because if he doesn't fund the illegals, he's not funding the unhoused. So, but the reality is, the true homeless account for 1/3 of our unhoused population, while the migrants account for 2/3. And then we got a bunch of them that have been put into apartments with grant money from various NGOs across the state. So there you go. Yeah, they have a piece of paper allowing them free travel on any mode of transportation they want. I'm surprised a lot of them haven't gone south for the winter. Be like sunbirds, right? Be like the senior citizen sunburns. I hear some of them are getting Social Security, food stamps. They're getting the whole shit and caboodle as a U.S. citizen, but they're not even a citizen, guys. There you go. There you go. So there is a quick update on the migrants in Chicago. So we're just waiting for Brett Holman to show up with his big old bus and clear out Cook County Jail. That would be a good start. And anywhere else in the state where we got them in jail, or we know where they're at. Yep. You don't have any in Florida? I heard that Florida was getting those planes from directly from Venezuela and some of those countries in South America. In the dark of night, they weren't even telling DeSantis about it. So yeah, you might not have any sanctuary cities there, Uncle Andy, but I think you got some illegals. I do believe you got some illegals. How many, I don't know, but Chicago's got 53,000. I heard New York City's got 267,000. Things are happening. I heard New York City was supposed to shut down Rikers Island. But I would hope that maybe Brett Holman be able to use that Rikers Island as his holding pen for illegals, because that's close to the airport. That'd be a great asset for Brett Holman to use to hold people while he's trying to export them out of New York City. So there you go. The fun is yet to begin. Fun is just getting started, guys. We're going to see lots of fun and enjoyment as they corral these people up like cattle and ship them out. Yeah, ship them out. But so now we got California burning to the ground, you know. Geez, the devil has gone down to California. But Gavin Newsom, Mr. Slick Hair, he's trying to wiggle himself out of that too. Yeah, California is just a mess, just a mess. And I'm hearing it's going to get worse before it gets better. I mean, I don't know if you've been watching the news. $10 million beach homes in Malibu have been burnt to the ground. They do not exist anymore. We can only hope that somebody like, what's her name? Oh, like Bette Midler or who's the other one? Oh man, James Brolin's ex-wife or girlfriend. What was her name? Oh man, no, she's. Huh?
Ellen DeGeneres.
No, the other one. Oh, what was? Oh, she was a good singer. Oh my lord, let me Google it. Who was it? Who was it?
Celine Dion?
No. The Jewish lady.
Oh,
Barbara Streisand. There you go. She had a house on in Malibu. Yeah, Barbara Streisand. Yeah. There you go. Let's hope that her house burned down. not that I'm wishing, but I mean, maybe. I mean, $10 million house goes to the ground. Yeah, there you go. They had a guy on Fox tonight who's had a house on the beach for 20 years, and he says it's already burned down like 2 times already. This is the 3rd time it's burned down. That kind of tells you, you know, to be expected, right? It's either going to get washed away by the ocean or burned down, one of the two. At some point, you move on with life, and you go inland where it's a little bit safer. Oh yeah. Oh man, oh man. So I hope you guys are having a good. What is today? Today's Wednesday, I do believe. Days just keep passing by. Today's January 8th, Wednesday, and we be streaming a rare night show here today. I wanted to give you guys an idea of what's going on with the migrants and enjoying a Tyskie, a nice Polish imported beer from Binny's, my local Binny's. Kudos to my cousin who got me a Binny's gift card for the holidays. Love ya. There you go. Those Polish people, they make some good beer. Oh, man. So we got Garrett Clemens, Uncle Andy. We got Mofo. I'm gonna ask Mofo, are you gonna lose your offensive coordinator to the Chicago Bears, Mofo? Diddy's house is not on the beach, I don't believe. His house was like in Hollywood, I do believe, or you know, the Rodeo Drive area, whatever that is. I've seen pictures of his house. It looks like it's more inland in the Hollywood area. So the Bears only have 15 or 16 candidates for coaching, their new coach, and we'll see how they bungle this. Keep in mind the Bears still don't have a definite stadium site for their new stadium, and they're hoping to get a shovel in the ground by the end of this year. So the clock is ticking in many ways than one for the Chicago Bears. We'll see what they do. They surprised the hell out of everybody by beating the Packers and scoring a touchdown in the first quarter, which I don't think they had done for like 13 games in a row, maybe more. They got a one hell of a record-setting year. And it's not in a good way. That's sad. Yeah, that's sad, Garrett. That's sad. So last I heard, there's 6 teams looking for coaches. So speed is probably a good quality to have when you're looking for a head coach, because as the Bears have gone through this exercise 15, 20 years ago, and I got a feeling that history is going to repeat itself. They kept waiting and waiting until the Super Bowl was over because they thought that there was a guy on one of the Super Bowl teams that would want to join their coaching staff. and it ended up burning them because the longer and longer that they waited for the Super Bowl to be done, all the other teams were poaching and stealing all the other candidates that they may have wanted to hire if their initial plan didn't work. And I think it came to fruition that their initial plan of nirvana of hiring someone from one of the Super Bowl teams crashed and burned. And then when they turned around, all their other top candidates had already been hired by other teams, and they were sitting there with their hands empty. So, yeah, the Panama Canal, yeah. How about the Gulf of America? Are you going fishing, Uncle Andy, in the Gulf of America anytime soon? Oh, Lord. The last week has been crazy, my friends. It's been crazy. It has been crazy. The Dems are going after anybody. They're trying to beat up Elon Musk. They're trying to put a wedge between Mike Johnson and Mr. T. They're trying to put a wedge in front of anybody. And I don't know if you guys watch Fox at all. They've had John Fetterman on the last couple of, like 2 or 3 times the last couple of weeks. He actually speaks with common sense. Imagine that. John Fetterman actually has common sense going on. So let's hope that some of that rubs off on the other demo rats, but I don't think so. You like my hat? Yeah, I got a new style going on here. I gotta get my lib hunter hat on. There you go. We'd be doing some lib hunting real soon, guys, here in Chicago. We'd be doing some lib hunting. Maybe we'll bring Lori Lightfoot out. I don't know. Maybe we'll bring Lori Lightfoot out. And I think all the illegals, they all get free Pringles. Yeah, they should all get free Pringles and beer. Yeah, that's every illegal should get Pringles and beer, and maybe some Yorkshire pudding. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Yorkshire pudding. Oh, I'm using all the props that I can. Use all your props, my friends. Use all your props. All right. I think we're about done, unless there's something else you want to talk about. Oh, man. We want Cuba. Yeah, how about Greenland? Greenland's gonna... Donald Trump's son went to Greenland. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, good old Lori. Good old Lori. I haven't seen her in the media much. She'd be hiding. She'd be hiding. She got her gig at Harvard last I heard. Teaching at Harvard. I'm sure that doesn't go too hard on her teaching at Harvard. Yeah. Yep. There you go. So thank you for joining tonight. Hope you guys learned a little more about what's going on here in Chicago. And like, share, subscribe as the bird flu is starting to make the rounds. It's got to be something. Where's Uncle? Where's Dr. Fauci when you need him, right? Where's Dr. Fauci when you need him? All right. It's DJ Wonder Chrissy and Mr. T signing off. Let's get some music going. We're missing our friend from Italy. Where's our friend from Italy? He didn't join us tonight. There you go. There you go. A little music as we end the show.